Hello, hey guys.
Hi.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
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 Hello. We're just waiting for everybody to join right now. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so it looks like we have a full class. Cool. Alright, guys. Well, welcome. My name's Joe, and today we're going to be talking about ways to help you improve your English and some tools that can help you and just how you can become more proficient and speak better. Well, just know the language better. So, before we do that, I'd just like to have everybody introduce themselves by saying your name, the country that you're from, and your favorite movie. So I'll go first. My name's Joe, and I'm from the United States, from Arizona. And my favorite movie is Inception. So we'll start from... it's a good movie. So we'll start from the left with Erman.
Okay. My name is Arman. I am from Turkey. My favorite movie is maybe Independent Day.
Is what?
Independent Day.
Independent Day. Ah, that's a good movie. Cool. Okay. And then Ishmael? Is that how you pronounce your name? Ismail? Are you there?
Ismail.
Ismail. Okay. Sorry about that. And where are you from?
Go ahead, please.
Where are you from?
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me. Maybe try turning up your volume. Can everybody else hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ismail, it sounds like it's your computer. Okay, well, while he's fixing that, we'll move on to the next. So, Julissa.
Hi everyone, my name is Yulisa. I'm from Peru, and one of my favorite movies is The Pursuit of Happiness.
The Pursuit of Happiness. That's a good
The
movie.
Pursuit.
Oh.
Cool. Okay, and then Luis.
Hello. My name is Luis. I'm from Uruguay. This is my first class with you. My favorite movie is Casablanca.
Casablanca.
Yes.
I've heard that's a good movie. I've never seen it.
Ah, because I like the Humphrey Bogart.
You like the what?
Humphrey Bogart. Bogart,
Ah,
the actors.
okay, okay. Yeah. Cool. That's awesome. Okay, welcome.
So I am the old man. You are very young.
Yes. But that is not a problem. The young will teach the wise. Cool. All right. Well, we're glad you're here. Cool. Mahmoud.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Mahmut. I am from Turkey, from Mersin. And my favorite film is The Godfather.
The Godfather. Ooh, it's a good movie.
Oh, yeah.
Classic. Cool. Okay. Metin. Right? Metin.
Yeah. I am from Turkey, from in Istanbul, and my favorite film is Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
Oh,
That's another classic. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, Sebastian.
Hi, my name is Sebastian. I'm from Chile, and I'm a movie fan, so I don't have one, but I have to say that one of my favorite is Into the Wild.
Into the Wilds. Didn't that come out like 5 years ago? It was based on the
Yeah.
book. I never saw that. Was that a good movie?
Oh, a great movie. If you watch it, you're going to do what the guy in the movie did, actually.
What did he do?
Oh, I'm not going to say you. Spoiler alert. I'm not going to say. No, it's a movie that directed by Sean Penn. It's a very good movie.
Ah, okay, okay. All
And it's
right, yeah.
based on a true story. Yeah, yeah, Mark. Good one.
Okay, cool. Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to watch that then. Cool. Okay. Yuval.
Hi, my name is Yuval, and I'm from Israel. And my favorite movie is there's a bunch of movies I like. One of them is Fight Club with Brad Pitt and the other guy, I don't remember his name.
Edward Norton.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Edward Norton. Okay, yeah, that's another classic. I haven't seen that yet. It's on my to watch list because my friend is an actor and he loves watching movies. But yeah, I've heard that's a really good movie too. Cool.
It's really
Uh,
easy.
yeah, it really is. That's what I've heard. It's like one of the best movies ever. Okay, cool. I think we have one other person. Karim, are you there?
Yeah, Karim.
Karim. And
I'm from Palestine.
okay,
I like porn series.
you like the Bourne series. Ah, those are
Yeah.
really good movies. That's cool. Awesome. And then last, Ismail, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Where are you from and what's your favorite movie?
I am from Turkey, Ankara. My favorite movie is Titanic.
Titanic. Classic. That's a sad movie, yes. Cool. All right. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you guys are all here. So, the first thing we're gonna do, before we start actually talking about improving English, I want to talk about how you guys all learned English. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through, and have everybody explain a little bit about their background, about, how long they've been studying English, and maybe a little bit about how you started and why you started, and like the beginning steps to learning English for you. So, since I'm a native speaker, I mean, I learned when I was a baby, but so I can't really
Great
say,
answer. Great answer, Joe.
Naturally.
so I can't really say an example, but I'll try and help you guys out if you need help with anything. So we'll start with Erman.
Okay.
Erman, are you there?
Yeah, I am here.
Okay, so maybe just talk a little bit about how you learned English, like how you attempted to learn English and how you've been learning English.
I have learned English at maybe 10 years,
10 years? Okay.
but I don't know English very well.
Okay. And how did you learn English? I mean, 10 years, is that 10 years studying on your own, or
Yeah.
did you take classes?
Um, I went to school, prepare school for English
Okay.
2 times,
So,
but
okay.
yeah, it doesn't good school. I don't
Okay.
English very well. I don't learn English very well,
Uh-huh. And
and
keep going.
yeah,
Mhm.
and I want to learn English because I use it in the job.
In the job. Okay. Um, okay, so 10 years. So are all of those 10 years in school, like in the preparatory school that you went to? Or were like, I don't know, 8 of those years in the preparatory school and then afterwards you kept learning on your own?
Yeah. Firstly, high school just 1 year,
Uh-huh.
and university just 1 year,
Okay.
and sometimes two two of week,
And two what?
two two 1 2 week.
1 week. Wait. Can you? Sorry, I'm having trouble. Can you maybe explain that a little more? That last part.
Okay. Um, I want to school to learn English.
Uh-huh.
Just 2 times, maybe 3 times.
Oh, okay. Now I understand. Okay. And so you said you were learning a lot. You learned a little bit in the preparatory school and in the university, but you say that you don't think you speak English well. What do you think was wrong with the way they taught English to you in the preparatory school and the university?
Because we don't speak English in my school regularly,
Okay.
and we don't learn English very well, and we learn English, but just it is what can I say? It is just simple English.
Simple English, like the basics.
Yeah,
Okay. So to me, it sounds okay. So it sounds like you didn't get enough practice speaking, which also means you probably didn't get enough practice listening,
yeah.
and then you only learned mostly the basics. Okay.
Yes, and grammar.
And grammar. So you didn't learn grammar very well?
I don't think.
You don't think so? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Ismail?
Yes.
How long have you been learning English for, and how have you learned English?
I went to English language course in 1997 and 1998 at weekends, and I know before English German language. My German language is good, but I feel the school background, which I am not, I have not. That's why my grammar is not good.
Mm-hmm.
I try to learn myself. I surf on the net and I found different teacher, maybe AJ Hawks, maybe you heard about this name.
AJ
AJ Hawks.
AJ Hawks. I
He
don't.
advised always listening people, and he advised I can learn English while listening more effective than to study with books or grammar. He advised always listening and watching films.
Uh-huh. Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that. Yeah, so you mostly have trouble with grammar. That's your main problem?
Yes, because I have no school background. I try to learn myself. I went to English language course, but the courses are not same as schools. They are
Okay.
young people, and they don't know the importance of foreign language. They are young and maybe they can't think the importance of a language.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So to me, mainly sounds like your trouble comes from grammar. And then Edmal said that he had trouble with speaking, listening, and grammar. So I just want to open this question up to the floor, to everybody here. Does anybody have any recommendations for learning better grammar or improving their grammar with English? Does anybody have any tools that they use or any tips or anything that they can recommend to Ermal and Ismail?
Read or watch movies or TV series in
Hmm.
English, of course.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, I agree. Reading helps a lot because when you read, it's going to be using correct English grammar. If you read news articles, then you're going to be able to see. Because if you have a little bit of background with grammar, when you read it, then you're going to say, "Oh, okay, so that's when you use this, or that's when you use that." So yeah, good, Sebastian. That's a good tip. Any other tips?
And my suggestion is the person follow the grammar book.
Grammar book. Yes, that would be good too. If you yeah, keep going.
First, find the grammar book, but not only enough grammar book, and continue to read a book story about basic story,
Mm-hmm.
and same time follow the grammar book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a really good tip, Mateen. So yeah, what he's saying is if you have a book, get a basic book, maybe even start out with children's books because those are
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
be very easy and you're going to be able to
very
pick
easy.
out the grammar, and then have your grammar book on the other side, so then you can follow along. That's what you're saying, Mateen, right?
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
my suggestion.
that's a very good suggestion. Thank you. Okay, any other tips or tools for grammar?
I have one. I found it recently,
Okay.
actually about a year ago, maybe more. If you buy the new Amazon Kindle, even the old version, you have an option to sound the books. It's readable. It's audible books. So automatically you can
Oh,
read and hear the voice of your Kindle that reads for you.
Yeah, that's a really good tip, Yuval. So, that's also a good thing. So, reading a book, you're going to practice grammar. You're going to improve your grammar because you're going to be able to recognize different just structures of grammar and how they're used. And if you're listening to it too, then you're going to be listening and looking at the words. So you're going to learn how to pronounce them. You're going to learn you're going to learn the grammar part, and it's also just going to help your listening in general. So that's definitely a good tip, Yuval. Thank you. Any other tips? Karim or Luis, do you have any tips, or Mahmoud?
Maybe watch videos about grammar and teachers teach grammar in
Hmm.
videos.
That's a really good tip too. Yeah, there are tons of free stuff on the internet.
Yeah.
If you go on YouTube, you can just type in English grammar, and probably 100,000 videos will come up. So that's definitely a good tip too.
I think it's the only way to learn grammar is reading, because uh, if we watch only TV shows or movies, we
Hmm.
can develop our listening and pronunciation,
Hmm.
but they usually use daily English.
Hmm.
They don't careful about the grammar when they are speaking in the movies.
Hmm.
Uh, because of this, reading is the best way to develop our grammar.
That's definitely a good point. Yeah, you can watch movies and TV shows, but it's harder because if you don't have that background, you can't develop your grammar because instead you're only going to be hearing phrases and daily expressions and stuff like that. So you're going to be very limited. I mean, you'll learn English, but you'll be limited. So yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good point, Mahmoud.
Watch movies. It's very difficult because speak very fast. So I watch a page web called VOA Special English.
Hmm.
See, and listen and read articles, tale. It's very interesting. And I buy books with my level with CD. Read the book and listen the pronunciation. It's very difficult.
Ah, okay. And what is that called? Can you write the name on the Verbling chat over here on this side? It says
Yes,
Verbling. Yes. Okay.
yes, yes.
So
So,
you.
so I many years ago when I was young, I I learned English, but speak more more or less. I hate my teacher. I hate the language.
Uh-huh.
So since the 1997, I start English an adult academy. So my problem is pronunciation and grammar. I think this program Berlin is excellent. I need the native speak a little slowly
Mhm.
because it's very difficult to understand.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Thank you for sharing that, Luis. Yeah. So, yeah, that's definitely a good idea. I mean, there are lots of books out there, like you said, that come out with CDs for specific levels. So that can help a lot. Um, and then pronunciation, speaking, listening, on Verbling, if you do this class, this is going to help, but also just the one-on-one, that's going to help too, because then you can ask the native speaker to speak slower, or you can ask them specific questions and focus on certain things. Um, yeah, that's definitely going to help you with all of that, with speaking, listening, pronunciation. Good. Okay.
VAO is a good internet page. Voice of America. I follow the internet page.
What's it called, Metin?
VIO, VOA, Voice
Yes,
of America. The
.com.
yes.
good internet page. I agree the opinion. His opinion.
Who is?
Okay. Voiceofamerica.com,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
.com.
right.
Okay.
.com.
Yes.
Voiceofamerica.com. And so what is that exactly? I've never, I mean, I've heard of it, but I've never used it. What's it?
For example, there is a news about the daily.
Uh-huh.
You can read these news and you can listening to these news at same time.
Ah, okay.
It's a
So
good exercise.
good exercise
Yeah,
This
yeah.
for listening.
Listening exercise and reading exercise at same time.
Ah, okay. So
And
that's what
they
Yuval was saying.
and meanwhile you can follow the daily news in the world.
So you're doing three things at once, pretty much.
Yeah.
Cool. That's really cool. So yeah. So Ermel and Ismail, you guys are listening to this, right? You guys are hearing Voice of America. Have you heard of that?
Yes, I heard.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay, thanks. Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Metin. Okay,
You're welcome.
Julissa. So now
Yes.
back to, when you started learning English and how you've learned English. Can you just explain to us a little bit about
Well,
that?
in high school, it happened something similar to what Herman said.
Hmm.
We didn't have a very good level there. So what I did after some years later, after I finished high school, I joined a program, an English program in an institute. It was for about 3 years, a program of 3 years, and I think that helped me a lot because it was a different style of teaching. It was not the classic rules for grammar. Uh, they taught us through
Uh-huh.
games, different activities, so that made us easier for us to understand. And well, right now, nowadays, I'm just trying to update my English used through the internet, checking lessons online, using Verbling when I can, or reading,
Uh-huh.
because every day there are new things to learn, new vocabulary, new expressions, and
Hmm.
those things. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely an important thing. You need to, if you want to get better at English, you need to do it every day or as
Yes.
much as possible. Yeah, you have to maintain it. Yeah,
A lot of
cool. So
practice. Yes.
exactly, a lot of practice. And yes, so it sounds like the high school English was bad for Edmund and you, Julissa, right?
Yes, we didn't
Okay.
have a good base
hmm
there.
And that's very important because you need a base to be able to understand movies, TV shows, everything. To move on, you need that base, that foundation.
That's right, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Okay, and so you said that in those classes that you taught or that you took separately, they did lots of fun activities and games.
Mhm. You didn't notice that you were, it was different because you didn't realize how, but you were learning. Every day you were improving because they had a different, how do you say, approach maybe,
Uh-huh.
different teaching approach through games, listening activities. We didn't have this kind of classes like, okay, the rules are these. We didn't have that.
Oh. So they made the environment feel like it wasn't a classroom. They made it feel like, it was just games and fun and hanging out.
Yes. Of course,
Uh,
we had some explanations, but very, very short. The thing is more, we had to produce more in the
mhm.
class.
Ah, okay, okay. Cool. That's really cool. So that sounds like a really interesting approach because I mean, the more fun you make it, then the more you're gonna learn, which is why if you can find people to learn with, which is why Verblink's so cool, all of you
Yes.
guys want to learn English and we're all talking right now and we're all part of a community, a learning community, and we're all trying to make this more fun for each other and so I think that's the best way to learn it. Um, Another thing that somebody recommended a while ago in the chat was listening to podcasts. So they recommended a website called eslpod.com. I think it was a Lodi, and that's definitely a good way because if you're on the go, if you're in the car, and you're driving to work and you usually listen to the radio, a good way to continue practicing your English would be to maybe download podcasts, download songs, anything, just talk shows in English, and that way you're kind of even though you're driving to work, you're taking advantage of that time, so you're kind of multitasking. So that's definitely another good way to practice listening. So okay, Luis,
Yes.
how did you learn English? Like how long have you been studying English for?
Sorry, I don't understand.
How long have
Ah,
you been learning English?
5 years ago. 5
5 years
years.
ago.
Five
Wow.
years ago. Because I had many problems when I traveled abroad in airport or hotel. I help my wife help me with English because I I am lost in the airport. I don't understand. Um, I like this language. I hope this someday read my favorite author, like Venezuelan, Arthur Miller,
Uh-huh.
many other English authors. So today I read it, about the books about my level, but upper intermediate. So
Mhm.
I read, in that moment I read Was Mice and Men by John Steinbeck.
Oh, I've read that.
Yes, it's but I take the DVD Harry Potter
Mhm.
and I watch subtitle in Spanish and English
Mhm.
and for 5 minutes and return
Mhm.
and repeat and without get out the subtitles and listen and watch and listen the movie and
Uh-huh.
try to understand. Uh, I tried to watch the news, BBC News, but 5, 10 minutes because it's very difficult to understand.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Um, those are definitely some good approaches to learning English and improving your English. You know, what a good thing is like you were saying, you hope to read that book in English by one of your
Yes.
favorite authors. That's definitely a good way because it's you're basically setting a goal for yourself. You want to get your English level high enough so that you can read this book that you want to read by your favorite author. So that's definitely a good way to help you improve your English, is by setting goals. So like for example, you might want to set a goal for yourself and say like, hey, I want to be able to watch this TV show and understand everything that's going on. So to get there and do that, maybe I should watch a TV show that uses an English that I'll be able to understand better, or maybe so that I can be able to understand that in the future, I can read more, or I can practice speaking more. But the goal, what you need to do is set a goal for yourself, and then basically strive for that goal, strive to reach that goal. So then it's motivating you to improve your English to practice. So that's definitely a good way. And another good way is to find something that you enjoy and try and see if you can somehow incorporate English with it. So for example, what I did was, in one of my Spanish classes, we were going to practice reading to help us recognize grammar and to help us learn new vocabulary, and also just practice Spanish in general. And my teacher chose a book called The Chronicles of Narnia. And that's a really interesting story. I mean, it's kind of a children's story, but he ordered the books in Spanish, and then we started to read it as a class in Spanish. And even though the story is meant for younger generation, for kids and stuff, we started to read it, and my Spanish started to improve a lot. So that was just a fun way to incorporate Spanish into reading and learning a language. So if you guys can, try to find, a TV show or a book, or maybe a talk show, just anything that you do. Maybe if you do it in your native language, try and see if you can do it in in English. And then that way, you're multitasking, you're doing both things. You're maybe reading the news and informing yourself about what's going on in the world, but you're also improving your English because you're reading in English or listening in English. So the best way is just trying to incorporate things you already do in your life or incorporate English into the things that you already do in your life. So yeah. Okay, Mahmoud, how did you learn English, and how long have you been learning English?
I have been English lessons since fourth primary school.
Okay.
It means I have been English lessons. I have 12 years.
Uh-huh.
But our system was only reading and grammar, not
Reading.
listening and speaking.
Mm-hmm. So those are the things that you struggle with, or did you practice those on your own and improve those?
Actually, I improve my listening with movies and TV series, but I can't speak. Yes.
Okay. So you have good listening skills, but you need to work on speaking. So some other people were saying, some people feel that watching movies and TV shows that they speak really fast. How did you overcome that, or how did you get better at that, at understanding movies and TV shows?
I watch them with English subtitles.
Okay.
So I can understand when somebody speaks English, but I can't against. Yeah. How can I say?
You cannot
I
repeat.
can speak from with him or her.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Our education system is very bad, actually. We learn English about 10 years, but we can't speak. We can't speak.
Yeah,
We
that's.
can't listen.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I've heard about in Spain. I don't know if it's gotten better. I mean, it obviously depends where it is in Spain, but I've talked to some people from Spain, and it's the same thing. Like, they learn English from primary school, all the way through high school, and they've been learning it for 10 years, but they don't practice speaking or listening, and so um, those are some of the key elements to learning a language, because you can read and listen to it, or you can read and write it, but if you can't speak and listen to it, then it's hard to communicate. You can only really communicate through email or through written
Yes.
through written messages. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So what you did was, when you started watching movies, you put the English subtitles on because you could read. You had experience reading English. So what you did was you listened, and then you associated the sounds with the words, and so
Yeah.
then that's how you started to understand.
Yes.
Okay. And so now it sounds like you understand English very well, I'm assuming. Do you still use subtitles, or did you stop using subtitles at all?
No, no, I still use subtitles. My vocabulary is bad.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But I read newspaper, especially Washington Post, New York Times,
Okay.
to improve my vocabulary. But I haven't satisfied yet. I am trying.
Yeah. Hey, that's exactly what you got to do. You got to try and attempt to do it, and sometimes we fail, but we just got to get it back up and keep doing it. So that's good. That's really
Yeah.
good that you read the newspaper in English, and you still use subtitles, which is good, because soon you'll get to a point where, once you've practiced conversation like this in the classroom and just outside of the classroom, then
Yeah.
you won't need those subtitles anymore. So that's definitely a good tip for all of you guys, just to, if you feel comfortable without subtitles, definitely try doing it without subtitles. But sometimes, especially in movies, the actors speak so fast,
Yes.
so it's very difficult. So if you put those subtitles on, as long as they're in English and not your native language, then you're going to be helping yourself. So
Yeah.
you got to start out
I
with
think so.
those. Yeah, you got to start out with those, and then you move on from that. So good. Thanks for sharing that, Mahmoud. Metin, how long have you been learning English, and what are some ways that you've learned English?
Okay, I have learned English for 6 years. I started to learn English in the university. I joined a preparing class 1 year, but I used English every day. I read technical book
Uh-huh.
and technical document, and I joined the speaking class, for example, WordLink,
Uh-huh.
and I can understand the native speakers. For example, sometimes I I am joining the meeting with foreign people in the office. But the problem is speaking fluently.
Speaking
My problem is,
fluently.
yeah, fluently speaking is my problem. But I believe that the English learning is a long breathing way.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
This reason. For example, every day we must eat 2 or 3 times English. Like this method is used for learning English. Every day we feed myself. We sorry, I must feed myself.
Okay, yeah, no, I see what you're saying. So English is like food. Food you need, 2 to 3 times a day, 5 to 6 times a day, depending on the amount. And English is just like that. You need to feed yourself English, otherwise you're not going to learn it.
Yeah.
Good.
It's my opinion.
That's good. That's a good method. I like it. Cool. Sebastian, do you have any recommendations for speaking fluently? Do you have any tips, or Yuval, either of you guys?
Yes, I think.
Writing,
Um,
maybe.
Okay, well, first we'll
yeah.
hear from Sebastian, then I'll go over to Ismail, and then back to Yuval.
I I'm a movie fan, so I know what the answer is going to be. I watch a lot of movies. I love movies since I was, I don't know, 5 years old, even younger.
Hmm.
And when I was 5 years old, I went to the movie theater to watch Jurassic Park in English with subtitles, but I was just 5 years old. I couldn't read, you know. I don't know how to read, but I love that movie with dinosaurs. So I my love for the movies inconsciently, I don't know
Consciously.
if yeah, I began to learn the pronunciation and
Hmm.
how to say some kind of sentences in English. Also with the TV shows. So for me, I mean here in Chile, at school it was like it was not so good.
Hmm.
Uh, the English classes. No one's like English classes here in Chile, but I like it a lot. So I always push harder to my teacher to try to talk to her, or
Hmm.
yeah. So I watch a lot of movies. I try to watch TV shows, and also I like. I think this is maybe a tip, perhaps, that I try to watch at least twice the same episode of a TV show, for
Twice.
example. Yeah. So for the first one with subtitles, so you can read and um, you can hear what they're saying, and then maybe without subtitles, you can understand the words and create a connection between the words and what they're saying. You know, I
Exactly.
think.
That's a really good suggestion.
Yeah. So now for many years I've been watching movies, and now actually sometimes I watch movie without subtitles, and it's a great sensation, a great feeling, because I understand everything they say, and I'm going to say something to all of you here. I say that I'm not. Sometimes I watch TV or movies without subtitles. And actually, now we are hearing Joe speaking in English without subtitles. So
Yes.
you actually are doing it right now.
That's
You
true.
know what I mean? If you think it right, you're just watching a movie right now that is called Joe without subtitles, and you understand. So you can do it. Just you need to practice and constantly every day, and you're going to be better, and I'm going to be better in English. So
That's
yeah.
that's a really good analogy. I never thought of that. I mean, like, what if there were words scrolling across right now, like subtitles for Joe? That would be really. That's really true. Yeah. I mean, that's how kind of I thought about it, because that's kind of what I did. I mean, on Verbling, I've been working for Verbling since February, and in the beginning I was just a tutor, so I was just speaking Spanish and English with people, and there are no subtitles in conversation. When you have conversation, exactly like Sebastian says, there are no subtitles, and I'm speaking just like I would if I were an actor in a movie. I mean, you guys are looking at a video of me, so it's just like the same thing. I mean, I think the thought of a movie scares us because we can't ask questions because the actors aren't going to respond. But yeah, that's definitely. I mean, that's definitely a good point. The more you practice this, then the more better you're going to get at understanding movies, and you're not going to need subtitles. But I think that's a really good. It's a really good idea to watch the episode twice, once with the subtitles and once without the subtitles, because you saw the subtitles, and so they're there subconsciously in your head. You know what's going on already. You've already seen the episode, so then you can focus more on the pronunciation and the expressions that they use and what they're saying, because you already know how the plot's going to go. So you already have a step ahead after watching it one time. So that's a really good tip, Sebastian. I think Ismail, you were gonna say something?
I want to ask some suggestion for improving the writing skill on English, maybe. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Does
It
any
is very helpful to me. Thank you for suggestions, everybody.
Yeah. Does anybody have any suggestions? No
For
suggestions.
writing skills improvement.
I just write one of them. I think read a story and then summarize the story is very helpful.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. So if you read an article, maybe keep a journal and write summaries of what you interpreted or what you learned from that story. That's definitely a good suggestion. Another suggestion, there's actually a website for this. It's called, I've never used it, but it's called Lang. I'm gonna write it in the Verbling chat. So, sorry, over here. It's called lang8.com, and I don't. Is the Verbling chat working for anybody?
For me, yeah.
Okay, because for me it just shows the last message that I typed, and I can't see anything.
I can
You
see
can
too.
write it in the Google Plus chat.
Okay, let me do that then. Okay, there we go. I see it now. Okay, lang8.com. Okay, so yeah, so that's a website. You work with natives. I've never used it, but you work with natives, so you might write, a summary of the article that you read, and then have a native speaker look over it to make sure that it makes sense. That's a good way to practice. I don't know if you keep a journal, you could do that too. Like what I do is, I have a journal and I write down everything I do every day. And I mean, I read it in English. I should write it in the language that I'm writing, Spanish. But that's definitely something you can do to keep a journal. Another thing, so Sebastian and everybody else has recommended watching movies and TV shows. What I do is I'm learning Spanish and I'm watching a telenovela, a TV series. And what I do is, usually after each episode, I write a summary in Spanish of what happened. And then that way, if I don't watch the next episode for a week or something because I'm busy, then I can read and say, oh, okay, so that's what happened. And then I can watch it. And so that way I'm practicing writing Spanish too. Another good thing, the easiest way that I would say, is to either meet a native speaker on Verbling and ask if you can continue communication through Facebook or something. Or even through Verbling, now that there's the message system available, so when you add them as a friend, you can write messages back and forth. What I would do is keep a message going back and forth, just like, hey, how are you? How was your weekend? What'd you do today? What are you doing the next day? And then, after you do that, you'll get into a conversation, and that way you're just practicing it. Even though it's just writing, typing it, that's definitely a good way to practice it, even if you don't get a chance to speak it or listen to it that day. So that's a good tip for you. Any other? We have 10 minutes left. Yuval, we have two people left. Yuval and then Hussein.
Yes.
Okay, so Yuval, can you
It's
just...
Yuval, actually, pronounced.
Sorry.
Americans always have a problem with my name.
Yuval, okay.
It's pronounced like that.
Okay, Yuval. How did you... Did I pronounce it correctly?
Yes.
Okay. How did you learn English, and how long have you been learning English? Like, what are some ways that you've learned English?
I learned English from elementary school. I started learning English, and now I have about 100%. I can listen, understand English, also write, but I have a lot of spelling errors. But there is Google Translate and other things. I'm here in Verbling in order to have an American accent, and it's really hard, but I'm trying.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's really good. So you're saying that you have trouble with the American accent, or you would like to practice with other accents?
I would like to have an American native accent.
You would like to have an
And
American native accent. Okay.
yes, and it's really hard to have this kind of accent, but I'm trying.
Good. No, as long
Yeah.
as you're trying, you'll get. I mean, the best thing you can do, besides traveling to the United States, obviously, is to watch an American TV show, and if you watch it enough, then you'll probably subconsciously start to imitate that accent. I mean, obviously, like if you hear an expression or a phrase, I would pause it if you can. If you're watching it online, pause it, repeat that phrase, and make sure that you're pronouncing it correctly and that you sound just like the native speaker. And another good way, there's a website where you can record yourself online for free. It's called vocaroo.com, VOCAROO.com. And so it's really simple. You hit record, you speak, you hit stop, you hit play, and you listen to it. So what I would do is watch those TV
Can
shows.
you write?
Yeah, I wrote it on the if not on the Verbling chat, on the Google chat. So if you look to this direction, you should see a blue thing, a blue icon that says chat.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay, good. So vocaroo.com, it's just very simple, it's free. All you do is speak, record, listen, and it's a good way to listen to yourself because, sometimes we'll pronounce things and we think we're pronouncing them correctly and nobody says anything, but then if we hear ourselves pronounce it, we realize it doesn't sound natural or it sounds incorrect. So what I would do is maybe watch a TV show, you're practicing listening, write down phrases, you're practicing writing, pronounce those, you're practicing speaking, record yourself, and then that way you can improve your pronunciation and make sure that you're pronouncing things correctly and you're trying to improve your accent towards, an American accent, or if you want, British accent, Australian, wherever.
But this website doesn't tell you if you are correct or wrong. It doesn't
No,
tell you anything.
that's true. A website that you can use is this website. It's called Forvo.com. It's a dictionary online and it's a pronunciation guide. So you go to English, you type in a word that you're having trouble pronouncing, maybe continent or something like that, or I don't know. You type it in and then you can listen to pronunciations by native speakers or people who speak English fluently. So you go onto it, you type in continent, then it comes up, you click on it, and there might be multiple pronunciations by people from the United States, the United Kingdom, males, females. You click play, then you hear it, and then you play your recording of yourself pronouncing that word, and then you try and match them up. If they sound correct and they match up, then you know you're doing it right. But if they don't, then you know that you have a problem and you need to fix that.
I have one comment about learning English through television. In Israel, for example, all the American shows, the English shows, they have Hebrew subtitles. A lot of times I saw, usually I don't use subtitles, I hate to read the subtitles in Hebrew, but I saw they have a lot of problems. They don't translate correctly the English from American English, and so maybe also in your current language from your country, you have to be careful about that, not to learn mistakes, but if the subtitles is not correct.
That's another very good point. Yeah, I never even thought about that. If you're using subtitles, sometimes they could be incorrect. I mean, I'm trying to think because since I'm a native speaker, I obviously don't use subtitles. But I have a friend and his brother has trouble hearing, so he sometimes puts on the subtitles. And I mean, it's hard because sometimes when TV shows are online, the subtitles may not be correct. But I know that when they're on the TVs, most of the programs provide very good subtitles. So I don't know, maybe if you can ask your television, your cable provider, if they're all by your cable provider, your television program provider. So that's a good way to try and ensure that they're going to be as best as they can. If not, though, you might just be better off practicing without them, even though it may be difficult. But you could do what Sebastian said and try and watch the episode twice. and not necessarily with the subtitle one time and no subtitles the other time. You could just watch it twice, so that if you missed anything, you can pick it up after you watch it again. So, thank you, Yuval. That was a good suggestion. We have one last person, Hussein. I think your microphone is muted. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay. So I don't know if you've been here the whole time, but we've just been talking about how you've learned English and how long you've been learning English for, and some tools that you use to help yourself learn English.
I have been learned English for 5 years, and I study at university. I study prepare university. I learned only English this year. English speaking and listening difficult for me, and I improve both speaking and listening, this side and another side. Sometimes I watch short film. Recently, I memorized a lot of vocabulary. I write paper in front of English, and behind paper I writing Turkish means. I memorize this method. Very helpful, this method
Very helpful. So you
for me.
you write it in English on one side and then Turkish on the other side, so you know what it means?
Yeah.
That's an interesting method. I've never heard of that.
But I want listening skills.
You want to improve your listening skills. Okay. Well, I mean, like we've been talking about, watching movies, TV shows, speaking, in a classroom like this, or just, in person if you can, if you know people, or the one-on-one verbling. That's going to help a lot with listening. But yeah, that's definitely a good method. If that works, if you write it in English and in your native language on the other side, then that way you're learning. You're learning good translation, but you're also learning English very well, so that's good. Another tip that I could say for listening is, at least what's helped me, is just the one-on-one verbling. What I would always do is I would do 5 minutes in English, 5 minutes in Spanish, and after that I would try and switch. Because, when you're watching TV shows and you're watching movies, those are going to have the same people, so your ears are going to try to adjust to their accents, their expressions, and their ways of speaking. But if you're on verbling and it's constantly changing, then you might get somebody from the United States, from the south part of the United States, then you might get somebody from the north part of the United States. So your ears are going to have to keep adjusting, and that's definitely going to make your ears work harder. And then if you keep practicing that for a while, then your ears are going to be so good at adjusting to different accents and different expressions and everything that you're going to improve your listening skills a lot. So that's definitely a really good tip for listening.
There one-on-one
Thank you.
class.
Yeah, so this is classes. So when you go into verbling, you have classes, friends, and library. If you click on friends and you hit get partner, then that's one-on-one. That's what I'm
How
talking
can
about.
we get a partner?
You click get partner, and then you put you have to make your language settings so that you're fluent in Turkish, which you'll have to put other language, and if you're fluent in any other languages, you'll put that, and then you put you're learning English, and then you'll get
But-
connected to somebody.
It says, unfortunately, Verbling Friends is only available for specific languages. Try updating your language preferences on the settings page.
That's probably
Turkish
because
isn't available.
yeah, Turkish isn't available right now. So I'm trying to think how you could do that, because it would be bad if you were to lie on that. You're not fluent in you only speak Turkish and English.
Yes, unfortunately.
I mean, That's hard to say. I mean, you could post on the Verbling Facebook page and try and find somebody, but I don't know. That's hard to say because if you only put other in English, then you might not. I don't think the site will let you connect to people, so I'm not sure on that. But there is one-on-one, and if you post on the Verbling page, you probably could find somebody to practice with. But yes, there is one-on-one.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. Before I go, because the class is over, if you guys have any other questions in
No,
the future,
thanks for everything.
of course, if you have any other questions though in the future, if they do come up, I have a Facebook page that you can like and you can post on there and ask me questions. Or if you want to suggest a new class, like if there's something you'd really like to you really like me to talk about or teach on, like grammar, like a specific grammar lesson, or just a specific conversation topic or anything, any comments, suggestions, you can like my page and post that on there. And then also if you'd like to if you'd like us to let you know about more of my classes, you can follow me on Verbling, which my profile is right here, and you just click follow and then you'll get updates about my upcoming classes. So I hope this class helped, and I hope you guys have learned some new ways to improve your English and improve your proficiency, and I hope that if you have any questions you can ask me on my Facebook page in the future. But thank you all for coming. Have a good day.
Thank you.
And I'll see you guys later.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome. See you
Bye.
guys.